Sports.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
After spending about a month on the disabled list, Carlos Guillen returned to the Tigers lineup last night, contributed a double, and also played very well defensively at second base. His first start of the season at that position. Tonight, Guillen and the rest of the Tigers taking on the Athletics on another beautiful night for baseball here in the Motor City. Game 2 of this series featuring the Oakland A's and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba. Rod Allen, glad to have you with us for Game 2 in this series. Tough loss last night for the ball club, Rod. They lose 5-4. Not because of Miguel Cabrera, though. This guy misses a couple of days, and he didn't miss a beat.
You know, it's kind of hard to describe Cabrera these days. Simply one of the best right-handed hitters that a lot of us have watched in our careers, whether it's broadcasting, as a player, as a broadcaster. It really doesn't matter. This guy just moves the baseball all around the baseball park. He did as much last night after taking 4 days off. The very first swing that he takes against Ben Sheets, who was outstanding last night, he hits the ball the opposite way. But then he comes up his next time up, and he's able to pull his hands in nicely using the bat knob to play long ball again. Most guys hit that ball foul, but here's a very impressive at bat. He takes 2 fastballs, and he sets the youngster Bailey up for the breaking ball on the third pitch. Cabrera was not even thinking about hitting a fastball there. He knew he'd get a breaking ball, but the hard part about that is when you get it, you have to hit it, which he did. And speaking of hitting, he's done a lot of that in his career here with the Tigers.
Boy, has he. Since joining the Tigers and the American League in 2008, he ranks first in home runs, first in RBI, second in slugging percentage, and a .312 batting average, good for 5th as well. So Miguel Cabrera has been everything that he has been advertised, and he'll be back in the Tigers starting lineup again here tonight. Now with more in our coverage, let's go back to the Call Sam studios. Let's join Ryan Field. remind you that if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, make sure you bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your local newspaper or at the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. Don Guerin, the skipper of the Oakland Athletics, has turned in his lineup card here tonight. It is presented by Honda Bloomfield, and it features Rajay Davis leading off. He's in center field. Derek Barton batting second at first base. Ryan Sweeney will play right field tonight, followed by Kurt Suzuki, who's hitting .357 with men in scoring position. Jack Cusk battling the flu of late. He's the DH. Kevin Kuzmanoff at third. Their bottom three is Gross, Ellis, and Pennington tonight. Here's the scouting report on Rick Porcello, and it is brought to you by Ace Hardware.
Well, we're going to have a little fun with Porcello as far as the pitching profile tonight. And, of course, anybody that watches the Tigers, you know they got peppered with lots of line drives in his start against the Dodgers 6 days ago out west. But he was able to hang in there and get a win and pitch 6 innings. So he's a real tough kid.
Target practice on Porcello back in L.A., but he's good to go tonight. And here come the Athletics to face him. Davis, Barton, and Sweeney. We got another gorgeous night here in the Motor City. 78 degrees, our game time temperature for this one. Porcello's first pitch rides inside to Rajay Davis.
As you can imagine, after watching Porcello get peppered by the Los Angeles Dodgers, his body was black and blue.
1-0 is right at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. Davis, Barton, and Sweeney here in the first. Rajay was 2 out of 5 with a double in the ball game last night. And Porcello hits the outside corner. 2-1. A little bit of a breeze tonight, not really much, and plenty of sunshine here at the ballpark. Outfielders still covered by the sunshine. That's lifted in the air to center, and right there is Austin Jackson. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively, always presented by Beaumont Hospital. You got Rayburn playing in left field today, with Bodge getting the night off against the left-hander Anderson. Jackson anchored in center as always. Ordonez in right. The infield reads Inge, Everett, Guillen, Cabrera, layered behind the dish, and Rick Porcello is towing the slab tonight.
There's Derek Barton, the number 2 hitter. He's hit safely in his last 4, and Barton last night had a double. He finished 1 for 4 in the ball game. Porcello gets ahead 0-1. The home and road splits are dramatic for Barton. He is much better at the Oakland Coliseum. Waves and misses 0-2. Barton batting .277. He's hit a couple of home runs. Picked up his 8th sacrifice in last night's ball game. The 0-2. Backs out of the way of a 96-mile-an-hour fastball right at the letters.
That's a good pitch. Kind of knock him off the plate, give him something to think about. He can go back in with the fastball, or he can go soft with a changeup down and away from Barton. He goes soft, but he misses with it. Actually, it was a 2-seam fastball.
2-2.
When Porcello's going good, he's getting tons of ground balls. As a matter of fact, since the beginning of 2009, his ground ball to fly ball ratio is the best in the American League. That's why the Tigers were puzzled at the beginning of the year, especially in April, when Porcello had a superb spring training, that he got off to such a slow start and was getting hit around the way that he was in the month of April after a stellar spring.
That's a fair ball inside the bag at first base. This will rattle around the corner. Maglio will try and dig it up. Barton is on his way to second, and he is in there. Maglio made that a close play.
Maglio is throwing the baseball a lot better these days. As a matter of fact, 4 assists for Maglio in the outfield already this year. And Barton had the advantage of seeing 5 straight fastballs from Porcello before finally doubling on the 6th 2-seam fastball that he got. You can see the grip and you can see the action on the pitch, and most hitters, especially in the very first inning, and guys that don't have power, and Barton would fall into that category, they're looking for that fastball 3-2, and that's why they're able to get out in front of it.
13th double of the year for Derek Barton. Early scoring opportunity for the Athletics. Here's Ryan Sweeney. Ball high at 94 from Porcello.
And Sweeney had the night off last night, at least at the beginning, with Dontrell Willis towing the slab for the Tigers. Dontrell always tough on left-handers. But you can see Sweeney's numbers are pretty good this year.
Not a whole lot of power, but he is batting .310.
They like him. They like his skills in the outfield. They think he's above average defender. They think he can throw out there.
Obviously, he can make some plays. Power might be the last thing to come for Sweeney. He definitely has the body type that you would think would grow into some power.
He sure looks like it. Big kid. And he whistles that one foul. 1-2.
Came over from the Chicago White Sox in the Nick Swisher deal a couple of years ago. He was a huge prospect for the White Sox. Was Sweeney.
1-2 on Ryan Sweeney, who has 22 RBIs this year, and 18 of those, so the majority, have come against right-handed pitching. The 1-2 is off the inside part of the plate. 2-2.
Also, a good portion of those RBIs, partner, have come at Oakland. He hasn't done a whole lot this year on the road, but really the entire Oakland Athletics team has struggled away from the Coliseum from a pitching standpoint and offensively.
You know, if the A's could just find a way to win some road games, they'd be in really good shape, because at home this year, they are 18-9.
Yeah, they're getting it done there.
2-2 on Sweeney.
And here's the numbers for you. Home and road, runs per game, team average, earned run average. They just struggle when they get on the road. But they won here last night, so they're feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
And this has not been a place in which Oakland has won a whole lot in recent memory. In fact, in the last 9 here at Comerica between these two teams, the Tigers with 6 victories in that stretch.
Well, you know, if Porcello throws a fastball here, more than likely Sweeney's going to make some kind of contact. Therefore, if you're Porcello and you have any confidence whatsoever in your secondary pitches in this situation, you might want to go to it.
And he missed it high, ball 4. So again, with the fastball way out of the strike zone, first walk of the game for Rick Porcello.
Gerald Laird is going to go out and kind of settle him down. And what I've noticed, at least some of the fastballs today from Perry are up in the strike zone, which is an indication, Porcello, excuse me, which is an indication that he's probably rushing a little bit with his body, getting too quickly toward home plate, which is causing the arm to drop, and that's when you get fastballs that are up.
Rick in his last start threw 101 pitches in 6 innings in a victory over the Los Angeles Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, 6-2. He has Suzuki now, who is hitting .357 with men in scoring position, and a breaking ball missing high.
That's a good call, but he is still having a difficult time of finding that real good arm slot right now, which would allow him to get the ball down in the strike zone. Kurt Suzuki is probably their best all-around player. Drove an 88 last year and hit 15 home runs.
Well, it's amazing that the Athletics were able to win the game last night. They were 3 out of 16 with men in scoring position. And in 8 of the 9 innings, they had a guy in scoring position. Yet they had to gut one out against the Tigers. Dontrell was weaving in and out of trouble.
Yeah, he pitched in a lot of traffic last night.
The 1-1. Train through 107 pitches, walked 4, struck out 5. Had a big double play ball early.
He has had the uncanny ability this year to do that, to get the ground ball when he most needs it.
The 1-2 just off the plate at 96. Porcello really wanted that one. 2-2.
He's got a good fastball today. 96 on that last fastball. He hit the glove of Laird, but apparently the glove was off the plate just a hair.
The 2-2 pitch in the air toward left field. Ryan Rayburn is positioned over there tonight. And the runners will retreat. 2 gone. So we'll get one of their dangerous hitters out, Suzuki. Now the slugging Jack Cust. He's yet to homer this year. Started the season down in the minor leagues at AAA when he was designated for assignment back in April, early April.
When he was recalled, he was leading the AAA Pacific Coast League in walks and on base percentage. But he always leads their major league club in walks as well and strikeouts.
2 on, 2 out. First inning just underway on a sparkling night here at the ballpark.
This much about Cust, though. He's got real power. And he's got some real power. Hit a ball here last year, I believe it was, straightaway center field over that 420 sign.
Yeah, that's where the big boys hit him. And he has 6 home runs career against the Tigers, 2 of those against Porcello. The 1-0.
That's a good pitch. It's a good changeup. Let's take a look at it. Exmo will show it all to you. Right when he gets to the top, you can see the ball just resting comfortably in the palm of his hand. And when you still throw it like you're throwing your fastball, the velocity for Porcello about 12 miles slower than his fastball.
Knocked down by Laird, but the runners will move up as it scoots off to the right. Wild pitch.
I know Porcello is not thinking about doing this right now, but it should be in the back of his mind. And with the numbers that we showed you that Cust has this year against Porcello, as you look at that last pitch, which is another changeup that Laird smothers, but he can't prevent the base runner from moving up. He's already fallen behind Cust, 2 balls and 1 strike. Don't give in to him. Don't give in to him.
Got Kuzminoff on deck.
Right-handed batter. Do not give in to Cust.
The 2-1. Boxed by Laird. You're going to call it a strike. 2-2.
He has thrown Cust 3 straight changeups. He's got him set up for the fastball above the belt buckle should he choose to do that. That is probably the one blind spot that Cust has, and most left-handers do. Fastballs that are firm, about 92, 93, right around the belt buckle that ties some guys up. Let's see what they're going to do here. Now, there it was.
Got him. 97. Right down the middle. First strikeout of the game for Porcello, and it comes in a big spot early. Austin Jackson in the leadoff slot, followed by Johnny Damon and Maglio Ordonez. Cabrera, fresh off his 3-homer night, is batting cleanup. Then Rayburn. Then Guillen, your bottom 3 tonight, featuring Inge, Laird, and then Adam Everett. They're facing 22-year-old left-hander Brett Anderson, who is out of Midland, Texas. Grew up in Oklahoma, and he delivers a strike to Austin Jackson. Jackson had his 7-game hitting streak come to a close last night, batting .328. Still among the league leaders in hits as Anderson backs him out of there. 1-1.
Anderson, not your typical left-hander, and what I mean by that, he's not a touch and field guy. You know, this guy's got power stuff, and he's a big boy. For whatever reason, you know, with all the lofty numbers that Jackson has put up this year, left-handers have presented problems for him, but as good as he is, and with the hand-eye coordination that he possesses, there's no question he can improve on that number.
Fastball in missing, running the count to 2-2.
Looks like Anderson is going to aggressively pitch inside today. If there's any indication of how he has pitched to Jackson here, the leadoff hitter for the Tigers.
Anderson off the mound and quickly throws out Jackson. One up and one away. Well, the Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Anderson. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
It's been a while since Brett has been on the mound for the A's. They shut him down after an April 5th start, with left elbow inflammation. You brought up the fact that he's just 22 years old. He is still a baby with a powerful arm. 150 strikeouts last year in 2009, which led their team and led all American League rookies.
There's Johnny Damon. Damon again the DH tonight. Cleveland putting Rayburn out in left. Bosch gets the night off against the left hand. Johnny at 275. Lifts this one in the air toward left. Gross on the move, won't get there. They'll drop in front of him and base hit.
It's a tough sky in left field anyway, with Gross looking into the sun. And he broke back on that ball initially, and when he broke back for it, there was no way he was going to get in to catch it. Johnny Damon will take it, no doubt about that. Take a look at it, and he takes one step back, and then he retreats, and then he tries to come in, and by then it's just way too late.
He's going to bring up Maglio Ordonez. The shades are down for Gabe Gross in left. Maglio at 325, fourth in the American League in on-base percentage. He just continues to swing it. He drives one to the gap in right field. On the move is Sweeney, and he'll get there for the out. Maglio shooting one the other way, but there are two gone.
Well, expect the Tigers to be awfully aggressive here tonight against Anderson, because he throws a lot of strikes. This guy does not walk a whole lot of people, and he comes right after you. Very confident young man.
Here comes Cabrera batting .341. And all of a sudden from 10 to 13 homers in the span of one night.
And he is lethal on first pitches if you give him a strike.
Bouncing ball right side. Fielding is Ellis off to his left. And that is that for Detroit. No runs to hit, one left, one in the books. No score. Fit in nicely with the bullpen if he wanted to.
Yeah, he would.
Porcello back to work, and he'll face Kuzmanov, then Gross, and then Ellis. Kuzmanov batting .254. In the air toward right field. Maglio coming toward the line, backing up now. Still going. Ball carried on.
It's got a wind up there tonight, just as it was last night. Hey fans, tomorrow NASCAR on Fox moves to Charlotte with a Memorial Day weekend tradition as some of the world's best drivers compete in the Coca-Cola 600. Coverage from Charlotte Motor Speedway begins tomorrow at 5 in high definition on your local Fox station.
Here's Gabe Gross with one out. Gross batting .274 is hot. In fact, he's 5 for his last 10. Slices this one to left field. Rayburn coming on, and he'll make the sliding grab.
Nice jump by Rayburn. It's a tough field, especially at this time of day. And Rayburn was off at the crack of the bat, and that's one of the reasons why he's able to come in and make this play, although he had to leave his feet.
What's tougher on a sun field, the high fly balls or the line drives?
Well, I think probably the high fly balls, because those tend to stay in the sun a lot longer. Line drives tend to come out of the sun a little quicker, but when the sky is very high and the ball goes up, it seems like an eternity for the ball to come out. So I would say the ones that are a little bit higher.
Here's Mark Ellis now with 2 outs. Ellis batting .275 and raised his average with a 3-for-4 night last night. 1-1. Ellis has been on the DL with a bad hamstring, recently activated.
That is something Oakland has had to do a lot of the last couple of years. They have had to use their disabled list very often.
It's kind of stunning, really. I mean, especially their middle infielders and guys like Chavez and Crosby and Ellis through the years have been on the DL a bunch.
Yes, they have.
1-2 on Ellis. Chopper hit back up the middle. Everett will charge. No throw. He couldn't grip it. 2-out base runner.
I don't think I've ever seen Everett barehand the ball and throw it. I've seen some other shortstops do it, but he doesn't play that way. He gloves everything, and I'm thinking here, if there was ever a time to possibly position yourself to grab that ball with the bare hand and throw it, you may have had a chance to make that play, but he dropped the ball on the exchange from the glove.
We'll bring up Cliff Pennington. Pennington batting in the 2 slot. Had a couple of nights off. Bob Guerin decided he was struggling offensively, so he gave him a blow for 2 straight nights, and he's back in there this evening. Pennington is hitting .219.
Sometimes you need those mental days off when you're struggling. Just kind of get away from the game. Sit on the bench. Sometimes don't even take batting practice. Just kind of watch and observe. And by watching other players, you'd be surprised. Sometimes things just kind of click. You kind of watch somebody that's hitting and doing a pretty good job, and you're just observing. You say, wow, I should probably be trying to do some of that. And the next time you get out there, you play pretty well.
Practice a little visualization.
Yep. Just take a day off. Just get away from it.
Pennington has 3 home runs, but right now he is hitless in his last 15 consecutive at-bats. That one slides inside. 2-1 on Cliff Pennington.
Porcello's thrown quite a few pitches already here today. 37 to be exact. 17 of which have missed the strike zone.
.37 pitches as we play here in the second. Pennington, prior to getting those 2 nights off, had started 92 straight games at short for the Athletics, and that, of course, was dating back to last year.
He took over when Orlando Cabrera was traded to the Minnesota Twins.
3-1 pitch. 3-2 now on Pennington. Athletics came in tonight at 26-23, and they were trailing Texas in the West by a half a game. So Bob Guerin has ridden a team that has pitched pretty well this year to the top part of the West standings. And there is ball 4. Second walk for Porcello. 2 on, 2 out. This rally all started with that infield single by Ellis. Here's Rajay Davis. Davis started the game by flying to center field, 0 for 1. This Oakland team came in with a 3.90 team ERA. Only 4 teams in the AL were better. Davis takes high. Now with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, Rajay Davis at 357. Fouls that one straight back, 1-1.
And Rajai Davis has a difficult time of laying off the fastballs that are up, and therefore, at times, just hits way too many fly balls. He is most definitely at his best and most dangerous when he's hitting the ball in the ground and utilizing his speed, which he has a whole lot of.
That one was left up and it's hammered to right field. Ordonez back, and he'll make the running catch. Wow. Maglio goes back to the wall to run that one down. I thought it was going off the wall. Nice running play. And again, Oakland strands a pair. In a scoreless ball game, it'll be Ryan Rayburn leading it off, then Carlos Guillen and Brandon Inge facing lefty Brett Anderson, who deals a strike. That's frustrating here for the Athletics. They've already left 4 in this game after leaving, I think, 13 last night. So we're still scoreless. Anderson back home, and the count evens now 1-1.
Talked about Anderson grew up in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and pitched at high school there, Stillwater. His numbers were off the chain as far as a high school kid was concerned.
Little tapper right back to the mound, and a leaping play by Anderson.
Hey fans, have your picnic or party at an upcoming Tigers game. Group tickets and picnics and party suites are on sale now. Groups of 15 or more get discount tickets to select games while supplies last. Order your group tickets at 313-471-BALL or visit Tigers.com. Just to finish that story on Anderson, he was headed to Oklahoma State himself to play college baseball, where his dad Frank is the head baseball coach there. But the Arizona Diamondbacks came a calling, and I guess they decided that the dollars that the Diamondbacks were offering was a little bit better than going to college at that point in time. Well, I'm sure his dad was like, "Come on, son, come to school."
Oh, there's no question. Those numbers you were talking about were just outrageous.
Oh, sick.
I've got him here somewhere. He struck out 102 in 57 innings as a senior in high school.
Oh, but look at him, though. That's just a couple of years ago. Really? I mean, 2006. So, I mean, this kid 3 years ago with the kind of stuff that he has, you can see why he's so good. And it kind of gives you an indication why guys like Porcello and guys like Verlander were so dominant when they were in high school, too.
The 0-2 to Guillen, way inside. I read a really funny story about Anderson and his dad. As you mentioned, his dad was the head coach at Oklahoma State. His dad would not allow him to throw curveballs at all when he was a kid because he was afraid he would hurt his arm. And finally, when Brett was 14, his dad said, "Okay, it's time. Let's see what kind of curve you have."
Yeah, they parlayed that into about $1 million.
He took him out to the backyard. His first curve he threw was perfect. And Dad said, "You've been throwing curveballs, haven't you? You have not been listening to me, and you've been throwing curveballs." And Brett just kind of smiled, and the rest is history, I suppose.
Well, that's a pretty good breaking ball right there from Anderson, and he has already demonstrated And the fact that, against some of these right-handers, he's going to come inside. But this is, I believe, a slider. Or maybe even a changeup. Not sure exactly what it is. Let's take a look at the grip. When he pulls it out. Yeah, it's like a little knuckle curveball, I guess, or how he holds his slider. It's a good pitch.
2 outs, Brandon Inge, the batter. That was the first strikeout for Brett Anderson.
He will only pitch a few innings here today, depending on how far he can get with 75 to 80 pitches, which is what Kurt Young, their pitching coach, told me before the game today.
Anderson, by the way, has made only one other start here at Comerica Park. That was last May, and the Tigers got him for 9 runs, a career high. Now Inge is ahead 3-0.
Jim might just green light Brandon right now. And see if he can get him a fastball down the middle. And Brandon is one that is not afraid to swing 3-0. Not afraid at all.
3-1 right at the knees. He let that one go by.
Sure did.
Brandon last night 1 out of 4. 3-1 pitch to right field, right on a line, and right at Sweeney.
Again, I don't know about not having a base hit to right field last night.
2 in the books, no score. (338). That is FSDET. See the final results post-game during Tigers Live. Standard text rates do apply. No score, top 3 here at Comerica. And Derek Barton leads it off. Barton, Sweeney, and Suzuki facing Rick Porcello. They left 2 on in the first, 2 on in the second as well. So the A's continuing to struggle to get runs in this series, although they got 5 of them last night and won the game. Left a lot of guys on base. The 1-0 is in for a strike. 1-1.
That's where you want to work if you're Porcello. And that's really when he does his best work. When he's about 89 to 91 miles an hour, he's got some really good movement with his 2-seam fastball. Whew, nice change piece. It looks like he's found a pretty good arm slot, at least on the first 3 pitches here to Barton. And that's key for Porcello. Don't rush with the body. Let the arm get up top. And then you get that kind of fading action at the bottom of the strike zone. He's kind of fallen in love with his changeup here today, too. He's thrown quite a few of them on several occasions, back to back.
The 2-2 offering. Back in the crowd. 2-2 the count stays on Barton, who doubled in the first inning, did not score.
Porcello doing a little pitching here in this inning. Bottom of the strike zone, then he climbed the ladder with a 2-2 fastball that and Barton just got a piece of. Nice try. This is 4th and 3-ball count of the day.
Barton last year splitting time between AAA and the big leagues, and in those two spots knocked in 72 runs. That'll go foul.
This is what you do when you're pitching. Take a look at the ranges here. He's gone from 80 miles an hour all the way up to 93.
In the air toward left. Rayburn is under it. One gone. And while we have a chance, time for a game break, we go back to the studio. Join Ryan Field. He's got news on the Twins and Rangers. Ryan? All right, Ryan, thank you. So the Rangers unable to help the Tigers cause out.
Minnesota. This just in. It's a good baseball team.
That's down toward left field, but that'll get back out of play. Well, the standings, as Ryan mentioned, now a 3-game spread pending the outcome of this one. Cleveland has fallen on hard times. They're 10 out and in last place now.
Under Ned Yost, the new manager in Kansas City, apparently. He's got them playing some decent baseball.
Minnesota is 3rd in the league in hitting, 3rd in the league in pitching, and they lead the league in defense.
They've only made 10 errors this year, at least coming into play today. Just 10 errors.
Bouncing ball to first. That's a fair ball. Cabrera will make the play on Sweeney. Sweeney thought it was a foul ball. Not so, said Wally Bell. 2 gone.
Well, you got to run just in case.
Here's Suzuki. Flat out to left in the first inning. Came in as a .303 career hitter against Tigers pitching. Suzuki had an RBI in the ballgame last night. He was their cleanup man with 18 RBIs. That's in the air. Right side of the infield. Cabrera and Guillen. And it's Guillen in foul ground. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Porcello. 2.5 in the books. No score. decided to change from his old number of 8.
He said he wanted to change his luck up. Laird, as we speak, is hitting 158, and he said he wanted a fresh start. So the old number is gone, and now he has a new number, and hopefully it's the start of a new beginning for Gerald.
It'll be Laird, Everett, and Jackson here in the third. Gerald batting 158. Oh, and 2. I don't know that I can remember a player changing jersey numbers in the middle of a season.
The only time that it ever happens is when you make a deal for a veteran player at the trade deadline, and that veteran player has really good numbers, and he comes over and he wants the number that he's worn his entire career, and a young player happens to have that number on the team that he's going to. He can buy him out of it.
Driven high in the air, deep to left. Did the number hit one out? Oh, what a catch by Gabe Gross.
You got to be kidding me.
And that's how it's going for Gerald Laird this year. He took a home run away from Laird. Gabe Gross climbing the fence.
He knew exactly where he was. He elevated at the right time, and what a play. I mean, whoa, what a play by Gross. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. That ought to be against the law. That ought to be against the law.
Someone take the sharp objects away from G Money. What a frustrating at bat there. One out, and here's Adam Everett.
Was that you talking about Gross last night? Pretty good high school quarterback or something like a college quarterback.
Yeah, at Auburn, of all places.
He showed some athleticism there.
Some hops.
He sure did. Perfect timing. So many times guys get close to the fence, and then they jump. When they elevate, they jump right into the wall. He knew exactly where he was playing, and he jumped at the perfect time, and he elevated enough to make that play. I mean, he was well up over the wall when he brought that ball back. So not the last time we're going to see that play today.
And it ruined our story because the new number, switching things around, it would have been great for him to hit home run.
It would have been great. Try it next time.
1 and 2 on Adam Everett. Way outside from Anderson.
This kid is good. As a matter of fact, Oakland thinks he's really good too, because they've got him locked up to a lengthy contract that runs through 2015, which will buy him out of all of his arbitration years and 1 year of free agency. I guess if you're a young kid, just 22 years old, as he punches Everett out, looking for the second out of the inning, $31 million is a lot of money to turn down, even though you're giving up a lot of your years. And if he continues to pitch well, obviously he's left some money on the table. But if he struggles, he's set for life.
Well, and that's just it, because you can't plan. And Anderson, of course, was on the disabled list, just coming off the DL with what they have described as elbow inflammation, but more so a strained forearm. It'll go foul third base side. And I don't know. I mean, you could look at it both ways. And it's always, I think, in the best interest of a lot of guys just to take that security.
No question. I mean, $31 million is a lot of money.
I would.
And apparently Oakland is in love with Anderson. He was a rookie last year. And they went out on a limb and gave him that length on a contract.
Won 11 ball games last year for Bob Guerin and the A's. Here's the 0-1. Jackson whistles one, back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes on Austin, who bounced out back to the mound back in the first. Trying to start a new hitting streak. Jackson's 7-gamer was snapped in last night's ball game. His high this year is a 10-game hitting streak. That happened back in late April, early May. 1 and 2.
Well, Jackson's got a quick bat. I mean, his bat's quick. That's a 95-mile-per-hour fastball upstairs, and he almost got to it.
Swing and a miss.
goodness.
Third strikeout of the game for Anderson. An easy 1-2-3 inning. Well, kind of easy.
And Jack Cust.
Still no scores. We go to the fourth. It'll be Cust, Kuzmanov, and Gross in the Oakland half. First pitch is a strike called. 0-1 on Cust. Veteran of the Diamondbacks, Colorado, Baltimore, and San Diego. He's been all around. The 0-1 pitch. Porcello continuing to pitch well here in the month of May. 7-2 record, 2.28 ERA. Entering play tonight. A couple of victories as well. And just missed.
That's good location, and that's a good eye by Cust. And you can see why Cust walks so many times during the course of the year. Fox Tracks thought it was high enough.
2-2.
He can get another swing and miss here with a good fastball, but it's got to be up. It's got to be above the belt buckle. Cust is a low ball hitter with a classic uppercut swing. That's what they're going to do.
Popped up. Inge coming over. He has room, and Cust is retired.
Nice job of pitching against Cust so far today.
This game tonight is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD. It is sponsored by Comcast.
And this ballpark is special.
Here's Kuzmanov.
Stunning.
Breaking ball a tad outside. 1-0. And Kuzmanov was acquired from the San Diego Padres. He skies this one in the air to right center field. Hit well. Ordonez going back to the wall, and he makes the catch and holds on. Well, they're giving Maglio a workout tonight.
Nice concentration there, though, because the ball just continues to carry the right field. And Maglio thought he had a beat on it, and then he had to retreat and go a little bit further, and then it looked like he kind of got tied up with his feet when he got to the base of the wall. Take a look right there. Kind of trips over his own feet, but still hangs on.
Kuzmanov a little bit frustrated. Hit that ball a long way. Here's Gabe Gross.
That play by Gross, taking a home run away from Gerald Laird, one of the finest plays that we've seen this year from any outfielder.
I think when you grade plays in terms of what are some of the great defensive plays in the outfield, the ones where I think you climb the wall and bring back a home run, I think are special. I think back to the one that Granderson had last year against Brady Sizemore. Those just seem to be spectacular sometimes. That one was from Gross.
That was an incredible play. That Granderson play, no doubt about that. And the circumstances, too. I mean, bottom of the ninth. It's a game-winning home run if he doesn't catch it.
That's right. 1-1 is a ball, 2-1.
And here's that catch, and one more time by Gross if you didn't see it. Just spectacular. He just pulls, come back here.
That's to right center field. Here comes Ordonez. And Maglio makes another play. 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. He's had 2 in a row now. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th. Damon, Ordonez, Cabrera coming up. Park in a scoreless game. The A's have 2 hits. Tigers have just 1. And that 1 hit belongs to Johnny Damon, who leads it off here in the 4th. It'll be Damon, Ordonez, Cabrera, 2, 3, and 4 in Jim Leland's lineup.
Finally had a chance to ask Damon today if he liked being the designated hitter, and he said he did. He said he liked it. He said he heard that a lot of the Tigers players on the current roster don't really like to DH, but he says he has no problem with it whatsoever. Said he likes it, as a matter of fact.
Well, I wonder if he would have liked it as much early on in his career as opposed to right now in his career. This just seems to be a good time for it. The 1-1. The chopper foul.
He seems to have the perfect temperament to be a DH. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's a guy that's over analytical as far as going in and watching lots of video as we get a look at his major league ranks. That would be Damon in some of the table setter categories. But he just kind of keeps it loose all the time, and I think that helps if you do keep it loose when you're DH. Because you can go back after a couple of bad at-bats and watch video and just kind of think yourself into a slump.
Damon has had 2 hits in this series, double last night, single tonight.
His numbers weren't bad coming in against Anderson. As a matter of fact, the next 3 hitters have decent numbers against Anderson, although it's a very small sampling.
22 years old, born in Midland, Texas. Brett Anderson stands 6'4", 235. And a bouncing ball to second. Mark Ellis has this one, and Damon is out, one away.
Let's take a look at the catch by Maglio Ordonez in the outfield, courtesy of Lincoln Mercury Exmo.
Got that foot cut up against the wall. Stumbled down, but held on to the baseball. And Maglio was 0 for 1 with the bat tonight. Fly ball to right field. Ordonez hitting .324.
He also has been one of the hottest hitters in the American League the last couple of weeks.
To the right side, Ellis will scoop it up. Anderson will cover, and they get the out.
What a play. Oh, my goodness. You got a left-hander that's got some pretty good balance. The ball off the glove of Barton, the first baseman. He slows it down enough for Ellis, but Ellis really took his time. Ellis, after he got the ball, after it trickled off of the glove of Barton, he was just kind of waiting for Anderson to get there. Just kind of taking his time. Take a look at him on this play. And that's what you have to do. And then you have to give it to your pitcher in enough time to where he's not trying to find that bag and the ball at the same time.
Officially in the scorebook, 3-4-1. Touched by Barton first. So 2 gone, and here is Miguel Cabrera.
Because Barton at first base plays so far off that bag, that's why he was able to knock that ball down.
Tabby chops one back toward the mound. Anderson bare hands and throws him out. Nice stretch down there at first by Barton. Tigers go 1-2-3. We are headed to the 5th. In this game between the two teams, and Oakland coming to the plate in the 5th inning. They will have Mark Ellis to lead it off. He swings at the first pitch and hammers it toward left field. Hit well, way back, and that ball is gone. It's a home run for Ellis. And on the first pitch of the 5th inning, he has given the A's the lead.
Porcello has been pretty much first pitch fastball to just about every hitter in this game today, and there is no doubt the veteran Ellis went up there looking for a piece of cheese. He got it and didn't miss it, and Raven runs out of room and left. Little two-seam fastball that looked like Laird wanted away. The ball kind of leaked back right over the heart of the plate, and Ellis crushed it.
Porcello had not allowed a home run in over 26 innings until that home run by Ellis, who, by the way, now has 10 of them in his career in just 55 games against the Tigers. Here's Pennington. He lifts this one in the air. Jackson, the center fielder, ranging left. 1 out. How about that AT&T trivia question tonight? And here it is. What former A's manager once hit 3 home runs in the same game for the Tigers? Cabby did it last night, of course, for Detroit against the A's. What former A's manager did it for the Tigers?
That is Cabby's first 3-homer game of his career.
Here's Rajai Davis. The hook stays high, 1-0.
Jim Leland calls Cabrera the second best player he's ever managed. Of course, that guy by the name of Barry Bonds is number 1.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And Jim has managed a lot of really good players. But he said this one right here stacks right up at the top.
Combine the numbers that Bonds had and Cabrera had. You got 2 of the best in the game, period. No question. 1 and 2 on Rajai Davis.
That's what Cabrera, Porcello started to do against the Yankees. He started throwing a couple different breaking balls. It's not a curveball, but it's a slider. But it's acting like a curveball because of the velocity that he's throwing it at 80 miles an hour. He also has a harder slider that he'll throw too. I thought maybe he was throwing his curveball today, but both Knapp and Jeff Jones told me no, it's a slider. But he's throwing it at 2 different speeds, which essentially gives him a couple of more pitches because of the variation in speeds.
This is kind of odd. 11 fly ball outs and only 1 ground ball out. There's a tapper that's going to hug the line. Laird throws high. Boy, he almost made a play.
I think Laird kind of realized that ball was not going to go foul. It was just hugging the chalk, and he tried to pick it up and tried to get one of the fastest base runners in the American League. Now this ball is just hugging the chalk line, and about right now, Laird realizes I got to pick this thing up, and I got to wheel and throw, and I've got to throw in a hurry because this young man can run, and because he's rushing, he elevates the throw. Cabby able to get up and get it and pull it down, but not before Rajai Davis is running past the bag.
There's Derek Barton. And now 4 hits for the Athletics. The home run by Ellis and the infield hit for Rajai Davis.
And Rajai Davis is a fearless base stealer. As a matter of fact, he was telling me before the game how much he learned in just a couple of weeks span in spring training from the all-time base stealer and Ricky Henderson, who worked as a coach in their minor league system.
Here comes Laird's throw, and the tag not in time. A steal for Davis. That's his 19th.
Davis was telling me that Ricky Henderson told him, just pick up one thing that the pitcher does to give you an indication you can get a good jump off of him. He said, don't look at the feet, don't look at the glove, don't look at the entire package, but he said, look for one thing which tells you when that pitcher is going toward home plate. And then once you see that, you've got to be committed to go, and that's what he has been able to do. And he's got some help from Ricky.
Ricky apparently, and we're telling the story back in Oakland, set him up with some speed skating drills to help his balance and his hip strength, which I thought was really interesting because those were the drills that Ricky used to use when he played.
Yeah, Davis will steal third, too. He's done it quite often this year, although it'd be risky in this situation with the left-hander in the batter's box.
I'll get back toward the seats, out of play.
But Davis has already stolen third base this year 5 times.
Speaking of Ricky, and Ricky likes to talk about Ricky.
Yes, he does.
But in 1990,
just ask Ricky.
Ricky broke Ty Cobb's American League stolen base record with 893 on that day. Here's the 1-2, and it sails high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the one thing about big base stealers like Henderson, the tremendous amount of pounding their bodies must take sliding into bases that many times. I would think that would take a toll on you physically over the years. 2-2 is fouled away.
Ricky Henderson started out his career by sliding feet first, but because of the beating that it does take on your body, strawberries on the left of your leg or the right of your leg, you tend to switch up and you start to go head first, and Davis also goes head first.
Just missed it a little bit high, a little bit outside. 3-2 on Derek Barton.
Something else that's impressive with Davis is the fact that everybody in the ballpark knows that he's going to run, and then he is still able to steal the base. That's a true base steal.
5 steals of third for Davis down there at second. High fly ball toward left field. Rayburn coming in into foul ground to collect the out. It's going to bring up Ryan Sweeney. Big difference in pitch count.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Anderson's on pitch count. 75. No more than 80 here today for Brett Anderson, making his first start since April 25th.
Hit hard to center field. Jackson on the move. Can't get it. It's going to roll by him all the way to the wall. This will get a run in. Sweeney is on his way to second and beyond. He'll go to third, and he is in with a stand-up triple. An RBI 3-base hit for Ryan Sweeney.
And Sweeney gets himself a changeup and hits it awfully hard. This ball must have been knuckling on Jackson towards center field, because it looked like he had a beat on it, and then he had to redirect the angle that he was taking on the ball, and the ball just out of the reach of his glove.
Ryan Sweeney safe at third base, safe and secure in New York life. So that makes it a 2-0 ball game. And now a chance for Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki 0 for 2, fly ball and a pop-up. And he pops this one up. Shallow center field. Guillen going back. Jackson coming in, and the center fielder makes the play. 2 runs, that's all they will get. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Steve Boros was the manager that followed Billy Martin in Oakland. Well, Tigers got to get the bats going now. They're down 2-0 as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ryan Rayburn leads it off. Rayburn is 0 for 1 with a bounce out back in the second. Ryan now is 1 for 6 career against Brett Anderson. His one hit was a grand slam last year. It's part of that 9-run game that Anderson suffered. Gave up 9 earned runs, or 9 runs period.
Anderson looks awfully good for a guy making his first start since April 25th, being shut down with some left elbow inflammation. And you know, if they're going to err on any side of caution, they're going to side on the side of caution with him. And they've got to protect this tender arm.
1-2.
And you can imagine if they're talking about the fact that Porcello is still trying to grow into his body and get stronger, you'd imagine that Anderson would be in that same classification at just 22 years old.
Well, last year he set an Oakland and a major league rookie record for strikeouts with 150, and he was just 21 last year.
Two of the youngest pitchers in the American League. And Ricky shaking his head, probably upset with one or two of those pitches that he threw last inning.
To center field for Rajay Davis. 1 out in the 5th.
Bats have gone stone cold here first couple of days at Comerica Park, where the Tigers usually play their best baseball. They usually protect home court advantage.
Boy, have they. They have just 1 hit in this game, and that's 12 straight retired by Anderson. See if Guillen can get it going. Carlos 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Ball 1. Guillen, before he went on the DL, had a 7-game hitting streak. He extended that in his comeback last night with a double, so he's hit safely in 8 straight, and he rolls this one foul. Guillen for the 2nd straight night batting in the 6th slot for Jim Leyland, which kind of bumps everything down in that starting lineup, gives the Tigers a little bit more depth. Danny Worth did a terrific job up here in his brief cameo with the Tigers. There's a strike, 1-2.
He's got all his pitches working too. Fastball, curveball, the slider, and the changeup is still a developing pitch for Anderson. Does not have a whole lot of confidence in it. He hates to get beat with it. Therefore, when there's runners in the scoring position, you pretty much get the changeup out of your mind.
Carlos goes down swinging again. It's 4 strikeouts. Got some celebs in the house tonight. There's Chris Chelios. There's Kid Rock on the left. A Tiger hat. Big Tiger fan. Chelly probably going to stop down and have some chili after this one.
And Chelly's still playing hockey.
He's in great shape, man.
He's still playing hockey.
Leave it. Here's Brandon Inge. Inge 0 for 1 with a fly ball back in the 2nd.
Man, he's 48 years old, still playing in the National Hockey League.
Two and 1 on Inge. Anderson, as we mentioned, his pitch count tonight is going to be between 70 and 80 pitches. He's only thrown 58 so far. Driven toward left field, straight at Gabe Gross. Doesn't need to make a circus catch this time. Routine play. Tigers again go 1, 2, 3. 14 straight retired.
Tigers Live, you'll hear from the manager, Jim Leland, and the players. Plus, we'll break down the game and show you all the highlights. Tigers Live from the Call Sam studios immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Rick Porcello back at the hill. He is down by 2. He's given up 5 hits in this game. The Athletics got him for a 2 spot in the 5th. And as we go to the 6th, it is Jack Kuss, Kevin Kuzminoff, and Gabe Gross. Kuss is 0 for 2. Pop-up strikeout. Apparently in the Oakland clubhouse the last few days, the flu has been going around, and Jack Kuss was part of the flu bug. In fact, coming from Baltimore, he said his plane ride over really was not very good. He was not feeling good last night. Got the night off. Of course, Dontrell pitched last night anyway, so it was a good night for Kuss to sit down, but he's still trying to get over that flu.
When they left Baltimore a couple of nights ago, they had to wait on the for about an hour and a half for the rain to stop.
It was a base hit to center.
Yeah,
they got into what, 3 a.m.
Yeah, they had to wait on the plane for about an hour and a half.
It's time for a game break. Let's go back to the studio now and join Ryan Field. Ryan. All right, thank you very much, Ryan. The Rays at 33-16 lead the Yanks by 4. The Yankees let a huge lead get away today as Cleveland came back to beat them.
Yep, they sure did.
It was 9-3 at one point in that game.
Tampa Bay, they've got some tremendous young pitching. That kid David Price has got 7 wins already. They're left-hander.
Here's the 1-0. It's a check swing. Did he go? Yep, sure did, said Wally Bell. Yeah, that's Staff in Tampa. Boy, if they can keep those guys together for a few years, look out. We got Neiman. There's some action of the Tigers bullpen. Brad Thomas.
They got Shields as well, doing a pretty good job. Brought up Price and Garza.
2-1. They may have enough staying power to win that East Division.
No doubt. But they got a tough decision to make at the trade deadline, whether they keep Carl Crawford and Carlos Pena, who they can't afford, really.
Ooh, that was close. Kuss was spinning his wheels getting back to the bag.
Sometimes it's best to pick over the first base when guys aren't true base stealers. And Kuss is not thinking about stealing the base. Therefore, he may be, lollygagging out there just a little bit, and it almost got picked off.
Kuzminoff 0 for 2 with a couple of fly balls.
A lot of 3-ball counts today for Porcello. And that's why the pitch count is approaching 100 here in the 6th.
Fly ball right field. Ordonez toward the line. 1 out. That's the 3rd straight at bat that Kuzminoff has hit the ball to Maglio.
Maglio's been awfully busy today.
It's going to bring up Gabe Gross.
6 fly balls today to Maglio.
It just occurred to me that someone should tell Kuss not to get too close to Cabrera. We don't want Cabrera catching the flu. It's the last guy we need with the flu. Gross 0 for 2. A couple of balls in the air. Porcello has given up 6 hits, 2 runs. But he's been outpitched slightly tonight by Brett Anderson, who's been really good. In the air again toward left field. Rayburn backing up on this one. Another fly ball out. How about that? I mean, they're starting to pile up now. 15 fly ball outs for Porcello.
He came into play today with a 2.29 ground ball to fly ball ratio. Which is the best in the majors in that span since the beginning of 2009. But today, a different Porcello. I don't know if he's doing it by design or if it's just the way the A's are swinging the bat.
Here's Mark Ellis.
Porcello continues to give Jack Cust his good move. I don't know if he's thinking that Cust might be trying to steal a base here or not, but usually base stealing is not part of Jack Cust's game.
Hey, another fly ball. Rayburn coming in on this one, and that is that. 3 fly ball outs here in the 6th. Here come the Tigers with Laird, Everett, and Jackson.
Maglio's feet get tangled, but he's still able to concentrate and make the play as he is falling down, not even looking at the baseball. Nice job, Maglio. Coors Light Freeze Cam is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Tigers have only 1 hit in this one, and it belongs to Johnny Damon. 14 straight retired by Brett Anderson. He is twirling a beauty tonight as Gerald Laird, who was absolutely robbed in his last at bat of a home run, leads it off. It'll be Laird, Everett, and then Austin Jackson. Anderson, get this, has thrown only 60 pitches. And this is the first batter of the 6th.
It's been a pretty nice pitching performance by Anderson.
Laird almost hit one out in his last at bat. Would have been his 2nd home run of the year. That's just the way it's been going for Gerald. Throws rapid. That's on the ground to the 3rd baseman, Kuzminoff. So 15 straight set down. Anderson clipping along. He's going to bring up Adam Everett. Greg Breslow and Brad Ziegler warming up. The end of the bat foul. 0-1 on Everett.
They say that all these Oakland Athletics starting pitchers have kind of taken the lead of Ben Sheets. We watched Ben Sheets pitch last night, and he was very good. And the fact that he works so quickly, a lot of the other Oakland starters have kind of bought into that. And they've kind of speeded up their pace a little bit. Anderson just kind of grabs the ball, kind of gets right back on top of that rubber, and he gets ready to go again. Sheets was outstanding last night. Brennan Bonds was talking to me about that curveball that Sheets was throwing in. Brennan Bonds told me, I ain't never seen a curveball like that before. He said that is the best curveball I've ever seen.
Well, that's what you tend to get up here in the big league.
And he got a steady diet of them, too.
Bosch in the ballgame last night was struck out twice by Sheets.
The curveball got him both times.
The 0-2. Pulled on the ground again to Kuzminoff. 2 outs. Stunning pitch count.
Oh, he's dealing. He is dealing. But we knew as much. This young man is good. I mean, it's good anywhere from 14 to 16 pitches per inning. As you can see where he's at in the 3rd inning, 15 pitches. Every other inning is below the average.
Here's Austin Jackson. Jackson with a ground out and a strikeout. Again, the only hit tonight for the Tigers, a Johnny Damon single back in the first. Since then, 15 in a row have gone down.
He's got them all working. He's got the changeup working. He's got the slider working, the curveball, and he's got a fastball in the mid-90s. This young man is pretty good.
And as you reiterated, or I will reiterate what you said, back on the 24th was his last start. There's a base hit. It's been a while since he's been pitching on a big league mound, but Jackson now has stopped that string of 16 straight retired.
Well, Johnny Damon got the other hit, and he got it back in the first inning. Gross in left field broke back on the ball momentarily, and then when he recovered, he tried to come in, and he couldn't get to it before the ball landed in the grass in the outfield.
Tigers have been out hit 6-2 in this game. They trail 2-0. I guess the good news is that eventually Anderson will come out. This next pitch will be his 70th. It's drilled down the right field line. That ball will hook, and it is fair. Off the wall in the corner. Jackson will be held up at third. Damon has his second hit. It's a 2-out, 2-base hit.
It looks like a two-seam fastball that Anderson is trying to get inside on Damon, but Damon not having any of that. He one-hands the ball into the right field corner. Take a look at the play in the outfielder by Sweeney. This is the only thing that saves a run here. He grabs the ball barehanded and gets it in, and that forces Gene Lamont into holding up Jackson, who was running hard coming to third base. Jackson's giving him an opportunity to send him home, but he had to hold him up.
Well, that was a good play. And Anderson is done. So he's a little bit upset with himself. Wall side windows pitching change. They will go to the bullpen, and we will step aside with the A's for the time being leading 2-0. Runs in scoring position, and the numbers on Anderson tonight.
He did well. Did not walk a batter. 4 strikeouts. He was dealing. 2 of the 3 hits to the last 2 hitters.
So he'll give way to Brad Ziegler.
And Ziegler faced Maglio in last night's game, and he got Maglio to ground out to Kuzmanov, the third baseman. When you're facing Ziegler, you know you're going to get that two-seam fastball at the bottom of the strike zone, so be ready for it when you do get it. And you try to hit the ball the opposite way, which Maglio does a very good job of. You don't try to pull a sinker baller, especially a guy that throws from this arm slot.
9 RBIs in his last 12 games. Ordonez rips one to third and right at Kuzmanov. Hit it hard. And that's it. Tigers strand 2. We're on our way to the 7th.
Times at Tigers.com. Vote early and often. Vote today at Tigers.com because our boys need a lot of help.
Rally caps out early tonight. As we go to the 7th, Tigers down by 2. They left a couple of men in scoring position. Maglio hit a bullet down to third to final out. Here's Pennington facing Porcello. Rick has 98 pitches coming into this inning. He'll face Pennington, Davis, and then Derek Barton.
Yeah, Maglio went up there looking for that two-seam fastball from Ziegler and got the pitch that he was looking for and absolutely drilled it, but he drilled it right to the sure-handed Kuzmanov.
An even 100 for Porcello.
27 in the first.
By the way, his last 10 outs have been in the air, 10 straight. And he checked it down low. Didn't think he went, and he didn't. 1-2. And Cliff Pennington, who's now 0 for his last 16.
Laird has been leading Porcello today with fastballs up in 2-strike counts. That time he changed up on him.
Again to Maglio, sending him back to the warning track. That's 4 straight fly ball outs in the last 2 innings, and now 11. Here comes Jim Leland. It appears that may be it for Mr. Porcello. Looks like Leland's taking the temperature, and he listened to Laird, he listened to Porcello, and he's going to stay.
What was the umpire doing out there?
I don't know. Nobody called him out, I don't think. There's James Hoy. There's Rajai Davis. Infield single, stole a base, scored a run. He's back in the 5th. 1 for 3 for Davis.
I was talking about Rajai Davis earlier in the game. He flew out his first time up today, and I made mention of the fact that when he is doing that, he's not utilizing his most valuable weapon, which is his legs. Then he gets on an infield single in the 5th and promptly steals second base. So he has to figure out a way to hit that ball on the ground.
0-2.
He did a very nice job the second half of the season for the Athletics when he finally got a chance to play. He hit over 300 and stole 41 bases.
That's a lot of bags these days.
No question.
Here's the 0-2. To center field on a line. Left center field. That's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Davis will utilize his speed here. Hits the bag at second. He's coming to third. And Rajai Davis has a stand-up triple with ease.
If there is a faster base runner in the American League from the right side of the plate, I would like to see him. That's a fastball up that he absolutely drills, and now it's on. Most guys don't get triples in the left center field, but watch him run. He's thinking triple. He stumbles around first. He stumbles around second as well.
That's going to be it for Porcello. First triple of the year for Davis. And Ricky is done. Tigers go to the bullpen. Step aside. 2-0 Oakland.
Saves and 119 strikeouts in 104 appearances the last 2 years pitching in Korea.
Derek Barton will face him with only one out. Chance to drive in a run. Barton is 1 for 3 with a double. Infield in for Detroit. He is showing bunt. Davis scampers back to the bag.
That was almost like a safety squeeze. And that's probably something that was talked about between Barton and also Rajai Davis down at third. And had he been able to get this ball down, take a look at Rajai Davis up here. He's coming. If the ball's down, he's going to run. But obviously the ball not down, so they call that a safety squeeze. If the ball gets down, then you take off.
Ooh, he jabbed that at that time. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I guess he tried it again.
Davis didn't seem very aggressive off the bag.
It's a bad bunt attempt, too, for a guy that's got 8 sacrifice bunts already.
Hinge trying to hold him close, jockeying. And no sign of bunt there. Now he's down to the count 1-2.
Got to make a pitch here. You need to strike out now. Whatever you can do, you have to do it. You see some other first basemen with sacrifice bunts this year. Adrian Gonzalez has got a couple of sack bunts.
Kidding me. What situation was that in? The 1-2. He was outside 2-2.
He's hitting 40 taters a year.
Yeah, well, I just don't know when you bunt Adrian Gonzalez.
They're playing good, though. I think San Diego's still in first place out west. They sure are. A game up on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Porcello hoping that Thomas can strand this runner. 2-2 pitch. 3-2. Numbers are not yet final on Porcello. He is responsible for Davis at third. Good numbers nonetheless.
Not a bad outing. Good enough to win on most nights, especially with the Tigers offense.
Boston. So that'll put runners at first and third. So bring up Ryan Sweeney. The A's tonight have hit 2 triples. Sweeney has the other. 2 of the 7 hits are triples. They also have the home run from Mark Ellis. First time these two have met. Tigers looking for 2 up the middle now.
Thomas has got a real firm fastball at 94. Also has a slider to go along with that fastball.
I was talking about this earlier this year, talking to Alex Avila, asking him who the toughest guy on the staff to catch is, and he came up with Thomas because of the movement that he has and the velocity and the toss back to first.
You got to be careful in just lobbing that ball over to first base when you have a runner over there, and especially with the speed that Rajai Davis has. And that's exactly what Inge is going to tell Thomas right now. He says you can't fall into the trap where you see that base runner take off from first base, and at the same time the runner from third takes off, but you don't see him running, and next thing you know, you throw to first base and that guy that's on third will steal the base. Inge went over and told him, don't be lobbing the ball over there. If you throw it over there, throw it firm.
Sweeney this year has bounced into 7 double plays, second highest total on their team. There's a more firm throw.
No doubt. I saw somebody run that play earlier this year where, as I said, with a left-handed pitcher on the mound, there's a runner on first, there's a runner on third. The guy on first will take off. So as a pitcher, you throw over there because you hear everybody say he's going. Meanwhile, the guy you can't see behind you's taking off too, and he scores easily.
One and one on Sweeney. Porcello going 6 1/3 tonight, giving way to Brad Thomas here in the 7th. Rick Knapp on the phone again, chatting with the bullpen. They'll start to stir. Here's the 1-1. Sweeney was 0 for 9 against Tigers pitching this year until he tripled in a run back in the 5th. The 1-2 pitch is on the ground to the shortstop. Can they get 2? Everett, Guillen, the relay. In time, the double play. 6-4-3. And Porcello was pumped up about that. Nice job by Thomas. Mezzanine seats for just $10. 866-66-Tiger is the phone number. Take advantage of that on Memorial Day. Miguel Cabrera leading it off here in the 7th inning. It'll be Cabrera, Rayburn, and Guillen. The Tigers still down by 2 runs. Brad Ziegler is still out there. And he sails one low and away. Cabby tonight is 0 for 2, couple of ground balls. Tigers have been limited to 3 hits, 2 of them by Johnny Damon, a single and a double. Sails inside, 2-1.
And of course, every time the big fella comes to the dish, he is standing in scoring position. And he has that kind of bat quickness and power.
Rifle to left, base hit. Leadoff single.
Ziegler's lucky that the big fella didn't get that one up.
Four Tigers hits. Now the tying run coming to the plate. Here's Ryan Rayburn, 0 for 2. Ground ball and a fly ball. Chops that one foul.
If you're Rayburn, and it's a little easier said than done, you know exactly what Ziegler's trying to accomplish here because of the arm slot that he throws from and the depth that he has on his two-seam fastball. You have to make him get the ball up because you don't want to pound that ball into the ground. Get it up and see if you can hit a line drive somewhere.
Porcello, good work tonight, hoping the offense can come alive. Oh, 0-2 on Ryan. Rayburn getting the opportunity to play tonight. The left-hander starting Anderson. Ryan went down and wasted little time in swinging the bat. He hit .444 with 6 doubles in 7 games.
There's no question that Brendan Bosch can hit left-handers, but the fact that Jim has to get Rayburn going. And Rayburn was very vital to this team's success last year offensively, and they've got to get him going.
High fly ball left field. Gross going backhand's room, edge of the warning track. 1 out. Cabrera back to first base. Bring up Carlos Guillen.
So far, the transition has been awfully smooth for Carlos playing second base. Tonight and last night for the first time since 1999. I was asking Carlos today, what is the biggest adjustment for you to make? And he says, Rod, I can't be late to the bag. Have to get to the bag on time, whether it's from the catcher, whether it's feeds from your third baseman or your shortstop. Don't be late to the bag. And if you're never late to the bag, then you have time to maneuver your way around base runners when they're trying to take you out.
Here's the 1-0. Ground ball to short, should be 2. There's 1. Here comes the relay from Ellis, and there's 2. So the Tigers into a double play of their own. We're watching Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
want or to sell the tickets to the games that you just can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
And the Tigers love you.
Not too many seats to be had here tonight. This place is filled to the rafters. Was it a sellout tonight?
Just short. 39,750. Close though. Here's Suzuki. He'll be followed by Custom and Kuzminov. Kurt Suzuki's 0 for 3. Ground ball to third. Brandon handcuffed a bit. Suzuki is out. One gone.
Well, Max Scherzer is going to get another start in the major leagues tomorrow, and this is what the AAA batters were looking at from Scherzer in 2 starts down in the minor leagues. He was just absolutely dominant. I mean, dominant. He has nothing to prove in the minor leagues, but he most definitely has to come up here and pitch a little bit better than he had pitched before he left.
Dallas Braden will be his opponent. I guess the thing about Scherzer down there was the return of his velocity, which seemed to really excite the Tigers. It was mid to upper 90s where they expected it to be.
That's exactly what Larry Bowa said when we were out west in Los Angeles last weekend. The third base coach of the Los Angeles Dodgers said, before it's all said and done, you guys are going to like Max Scherzer. Obviously, the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks play in the same division, so he saw him a lot. And he said he told Jim Leland as much. You're going to like this kid.
Custis 1 for 3, had a single back in the 6th inning.
Scherzer, before he left, just was not pitching with a whole lot of confidence. Hopefully he's gone down there, and in the 2 starts he's had, built up some confidence. I guess when you post those kind of numbers he posted in a couple of rehab starts, you're going to feel awfully confident.
Well, apparently the lack of velocity for Scherzer here was due in part to the fact that he could not command his fastball, and when you start to aim the ball a little bit, that will take a few miles an hour off of your velocity, and that's what happened. The 2-1. Down ball, right side, nice backhanded play by Guillen, but he's unable to finish it off.
Ooh, that would have been nice, and he was able to get to it. So he did show some range here just to get to it, but when he was trying to make the exchange from the glove to the throwing hand, he dropped it. This would have been a nice play. And I think he would have got Cust.
Yeah, with Cust running, I think he's out. Base hit.
Carlos had this huge smile on his face today. And he said, I'm having fun. He said, I am having fun. And the reason why he's having fun, he's back in the infield again. Shortstop by trade. And a 3-time All-Star here in Detroit as a shortstop, 1 year as a third baseman.
Eric Patterson pinch running at first base.
He stole a base last night as a pinch runner. Would not be shocked to see him try to steal another base, although it'll be tough with the left-handed Thomas on the mound.
Kuzminov has hit the ball to right field 3 times, 0 for 3.
Kuzminov, go ahead.
I was just going to say, getting back to Guillen, playing another position, in a position that's somewhat new to him, probably has to energize him too and invigorate him.
He's played all 4 infield positions here as a Tiger in the last 5 years. He's played some short, then he moved to third, then he moved to first. Now he's back at second. He's played left. But when healthy, he brings his bat, and I think that's probably the most important thing.
Well, there's Papa Grande.
He just needs to pitch today. It's been a while since he's pitched. He didn't pitch in Seattle.
Bonine is up there with him.
The last time Papa Grande pitched was a week ago.
2-0 on Kuzminov.
As a matter of fact, before today, the last time Thomas pitched was in Los Angeles on the 21st of May.
There's ball 3. Well, we touched on this a little bit last night, but some tough news for Zach Minor. Tommy John surgery. He had successful Tommy John surgery, and he was such a key part of the Tigers' pen last year.
Kevin Rand said he expects Minor to be in spring training next year and getting close to throwing once he gets to spring training. That's about 8-9 months out from now. So I think Tommy John surgeries these days anywhere from 9 to 12 months, depending on the body type and just how hard you work. But you're right, he was very valuable in that Tigers bullpen. Dr. Louis Yoakum out in Los Angeles performed the surgery on Minor. He's done that a lot, Dr. Yoakum.
He's done a ton of them. He's the team doctor as well for the Angels. And that is another walk. So the second one issued by Thomas. He's going to put 2 on now. England looking over the charts.
They've got a little cheat sheet. But the walks don't make him very happy.
Here's Gabe Gross. Athletics have out hit the Tigers tonight. 8-4. They lead 2-0 here in the 8th. Ball high. Gross 0 for 3. Has not done very well this year against left-handed pitching. So this hopefully will be a good matchup for the Tigers. Gross, in fact, came in hitting 130 against lefties. He's had 23 at-bats against left-handed pitching and 3 hits. And Rick Knapp coming out now because the count has run to 2-0. Knapp taking his time. Porcello started this one, went 6 in the 3rd. Thomas came on, got a big double play in the 7th. While they talk it over, here's our Comerica game summary. Mark Ellis with a solo home run. He's had a big series. He is 5 for 7 in this series. Porcello, really uncharacteristically, with 17 fly ball outs. Now, he pitched a good game, so it really doesn't matter, but that's just not something you see from Porcello. And Anderson, well, he was really good. He didn't throw a lot of pitches tonight. He struck out 4, didn't walk anybody.
For a guy making his first start since the 24th of April, he looked like he'd been in the rotation every 5th day. That's how sharp Anderson was. And you can see why they locked him up for the next 5 years, too.
Well, 2-0 on Gross.
Well, Gross is going to get a good fastball to hit, that much is for sure. He took it. That's one of those counts where you know beyond a shadow of a doubt you're going to get a fastball. And regardless of whether it's a well-located fastball or not, as a hitter, you should be looking to do some damage on this pitch. It's well-located, but you still got to be ready to hit. Especially 2-0, and he just walked the hitter before you.
2-2.
2-0 counts, 2-1 counts, 3-1 counts. That's what you live for as a big league hitter. Doesn't mean you're always going to get a fastball, but 9 out of 10 times you do.
Patterson is the runner at second base. He's the pinch runner. Kuzmanov is down at first. 2-2 on Gabe Gross. And he just missed. 3-2.
It'd be risky here for Bob Guerin to start his base runners in this 3-2 count. Gross has not had a whole lot of success against left-handers, and should he strike out, Gerald Laird more than likely would throw out which of the base runners he chooses to throw out.
There they go, though, and it's ball 4 outside. So he rolled the dice and he picks up a walk. 3rd walk given up now by Brad Thomas. That's going to be it. They are loaded up with Athletics. Mark Ellis due up next. And the skipper out to make a change. Eddie Bonine coming in with 1 out in the 8th.
That kind of leaked right back over the heart of the plate. They hit it to left field, and Ryan Rayburn ran out of room. That's the Coors Light cold hard blast.
And it was his first home run of the year and his 5th RBI. So Mark Ellis will now bat with the bases loaded, and he will face right-hander Eddie Bonine.
And Bonine's done nice work this year, and really in a variety of different roles. The numbers don't lie. 3-0. The earned run average is shade over 1.5. He doesn't strike out many, nor does he walk many. And the opponent's batting average is under the Mendoza line, which would be 200. He needs a ground ball here.
One ball and no strikes on Ellis, who has 5 hits in the series. Had a 3-hit game last night, single and a homer tonight.
Looks like defensively the Tigers on the corners will come home with Inge and Cabrera. Anything on the ground up the middle, of course, Everett and Guillen will try to turn it. And you know there's pretty much going to be some kind of contact because, as I told you, Bonine does not strike out that many.
Patterson down at third, the pinch runner. Kuzminoff at second. Gross occupying first. The 1-1. Ground ball. Fair ball over the bag at third base. This will get 2 runs in at least. Gross coming to third. They're going to wave him home. He's going to be a dead duck. But it gets away from Laird. He would have been out by a mile. They will get 3 runs in, and Ellis goes all the way to third base. Patterson, Kuzminoff, and Gross all score.
What's a fastball at the bottom of the strike zone? He gets the ground ball, but it's ripped right past Inge because Inge was playing in. And once Rayburn gets over to the ball, he gets it into the cutoff man. And for whatever reason, Adam just kind of bounces it, and it short hops Laird, and Laird can't pick it. It goes right off the right shoulder. Tough ball for Laird to try to pick and apply the tag to.
So a 2-0 lead balloons to 5-0. Infield in. Still only 1 out with Ellis at third base. Driven high in the air to right field. Maglio is on the run, going way back to the track in front of the wall to run it down. And that'll be deep enough to score Ellis with ease. Sac fly for Pennington, and now 6-0 Oakland. So the 2 walks in this inning, they both come around to score. By the way, they gave Ellis a double, 3 RBIs on that play, took third on the throw. And he comes around to score. Here's Davis. Rajay tonight with a single and a triple. Shot foul down the right field line. 1 ball and 1 strike on Davis. Ellis tonight with 4 RBIs. What a series he's had. He had 6 hits.
He's worn out Tiger pitching his career.
The 2-1. That's in the air. Medium depth right field. Maglio is under it. And that's going to do it. What a big inning for the Athletics. They put up 4. Call 1-800-521-7800. And by Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Well, the Tigers have a lot of work to do now. They're down by 6 as the A's put up a big 4 spot in the top of the 8th. And now Brandon Inge, Gerald Laird, and Adam Everett are due up here against Brad Ziegler, who goes out there for another inning. Ziegler took over in the 6th, got through the 7th, and now here in the 8th. Inge in this one, couple of fly balls, 1 to right, 1 to left. Tigers again tonight, just 4 hits. Pulled toward left field, right at Gabe Gross. Inge now 0 for 3 on 3 fly balls.
Tigers the last couple of days have just not been able to get anything going whatsoever. Cabrera got loose last night for 3 solo shots, but no one else came to the party. And today, you got to give Anderson a lot of credit, though. He's the reason why they've got that 0 on that board for sure. Brett Anderson, who started for Oakland, was D.
Gerald Laird 0 for 2, fly ball, strikeout.
Sometimes you can talk about the hitting all you want, but every now and then you got to tip your hat and look at what the other guy on the other side was able to do.
On the ground, back up the middle. Pennington scoops and throws him out.
In case you're just joining us, this is exactly what the Tigers were looking at the beginning of the day today at 7 o'clock. 6 feet 4 inches. Brett Anderson was filthy. Fastball anywhere from 95 is what Comcast is telling us, to as low as 77 with a wicked breaking ball. I mean, wicked breaking ball. Real good looking young pitcher is Anderson.
Here's Adam Everett.
And on top of that, Anderson making his first start in the major leagues in about a month.
(2-0) on Everett. Well, the Athletics coming into this one, pitching wise, a 3.90 ERA. They have done nothing to hurt that mark tonight. They have done nothing but help. Only Tampa, Seattle, Minnesota, and New York with a better team earned run average than the A's. 2-1 pitch. 2-2 on Adam. (6-0) Athletics. They had a 2-0 lead with a 2 spot in the 5th and then scored 4 in the 8th. Swing and a miss. Off speed. Everett was out in front in a 1-2-3 inning for Ziegler. We played 8. It'll be Barton, Sweeney, Suzuki coming up. The top of the 9th inning, they'll have a new pitcher on now. It is Jose Valverde to take over.
Well, Valverde just needs some work. The last time Valverde was in a ball game, it was on the 23rd of May in Los Angeles, and that wasn't even a save situation. And so Valverde just needs some work, and that's why he's in this ball game right now. His numbers are tremendous. Some of the best numbers of any reliever in baseball. That's how good Valverde has been.
Eric Barton leads it off for the Athletics. They have 9 hits in this game tonight. Tigers have 4. And it'll be Barton, Sweeney, and Suzuki. Two balls, no strikes on Derek Barton.
Looked like Valverde wanted that last call from James Hoy. It was a 97-mile-per-hour fastball that I guess he thought he caught the outside corner with. He also has that tremendous tumbler to go along with that fastball.
The Tigers bullpen has walked a few here late in this game. Valverde walks the leadoff man here in the ninth. Thomas walked 3, and 2 of those came around to score. Now a leadoff walk to Derek Barton. Here's Ryan Sweeney. Ball 1 to Sweeney. There's a strike, 1-1. Sweeney had a big triple back in the 5th inning. Knocked in a run, made it 2-0 at that point. And then the Athletics went on to score 4 more in the 8th. Valverde showing some rustiness.
Yes, he is.
His last outing on Sunday against the Dodgers. 5th in the American League with 11 saves. And now 22 shy of 200 for his big league career.
Valverde was a nice sign by the president and general manager David Dombrowski. He was still out there on the market as they approached the month of February.
It's going to be a fair ball down the left field line. On his way to third is Barton, and he is going to get in there standing up. It's a double for Sweeney.
Sweeney went down and got a pretty nice pitch and did exactly with the pitch you're supposed to do. And here's a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Well, not so much in Exmo, but it is 95. He just goes down and just slices the ball the opposite way. And take a look at the location. And take a look at Sweeney's swing. Perfect.
So the infield in now for Detroit, 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out. He's trying to add to their lead. Inside, 1-0.
And Papa Grande is in jeopardy of giving up his first run in his last 20 outings, spanning 18 2/3 innings.
Here's the 1-0, and there's the strike. Well, it's official. Looks like a perfect game for Roy Halladay. And with more on that, let's go to Ryan Field. Ryan. All right, thank you, Ryan. Congratulations to Roy Halladay, who is absolutely masterful tonight with 11 strikeouts and no walks.
He is so efficient. I bet he didn't even throw 100 pitches. That's how good Roy Halladay is. And the fact that he's now pitching in a league where they do not have the designated hitter, he might win 25 games this year. I know he stubbed his toe the last couple of starts before this one, but he is a great pitcher.
We'll have Dallas Braden tomorrow, who threw a perfect game on Mother's Day for the Athletics. Here's Patterson's first at bat. He came on as a pinch runner, stayed in the game.
They say that there's really, I'm sure there probably is, but they say Doc Holliday is one of the hardest workers in all of baseball as far as starting pitchers are concerned. And you can see by the numbers he's able to post. he takes his craft very seriously.
And to answer your question, he threw 114 pitches.
114.
Swing and a miss by Patterson.
Because he's thrown some games where he can get you through 9 innings and he's not even at the century mark.
Of course, when you're striking out 11, though, that's gonna pump your pitch count up.
Good point.
But again, congratulations. How about that? 2 perfect games in 1 year. In 3 weeks, actually. Pretty amazing stuff. 0-2 on Patterson with the infield in. Back out of play. $39,750 in attendance for this one here tonight. A's trying to make it 2 straight in the series. Another foul back to the screen. 96 from Valverde, and Patterson able to spoil it. The pinch ran for the DH Cust in the 8th inning. Eventually came around to score a run on the double by Ellis. He went around. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Valverde carves him up. 2 gone.
Well, 3 weeks ago, it was Dallas Braden of the Oakland Athletics who threw a perfect game against the Tampa Bay Rays. Shortstop Pennington making the final play of the game, and that was on Mother's Day.
And Dallas Braden will be on display here tomorrow against Max Scherzer, who will be returning from Toledo.
Scherzer will be trying to shut down this high-octane offense of the Oakland Athletics the last couple of days.
Well, they have 10 more hits in this game tonight. They lead 6-0. No balls, 1 strike on Kuzminov. Infield back now with 2 outs. Chop foul. Scherzer, Braden tomorrow, and then Verlander, Cahill on Monday. As this series spills over into next week, it'll be day games the next 2 days. There's Verlander. He'll be gunning for his 6th win in the series finale.
JV pitching on the holiday.
Here's the 0-2.
Valverde trying to keep his scoreless streak intact, and has a pretty good chance to do so if he makes a good pitch here. 0-2.
Time called now. Laird heads out to the mound.
You don't usually see the catcher go out in this situation trailing by 6 in an 0-2 count unless he thinks the runner down at second is trying to relay some location or even steal pitches.
Wave and a miss. It gets away from Laird. And he'll throw down to complete the strikeout. So they do not score, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. Jackson, Damon, and Ordonez. Gerald Laird at 37% of the vote. Maglio at 33%. Rick Porcello at 14%. And you will get the final results on our Tigers Player of the Game post-game during Tigers Live. In the meantime, Tigers down to their final swings now. Craig Breslow will take over.
22nd game now that Breslow has been in. He's been good for Oakland. 2.33 earned run average, 20 strikeouts and 19 in the third. Breslow not necessarily known as a strikeout guy, but posting 1 strikeout per inning this year, and the opponent's batting average just 188 against Breslow, who started the season last year in the Minnesota Twins bullpen, was let go, picked up by Oakland, and has been there ever since.
Austin Jackson, top of the lineup, will lead it off here in the bottom of the ninth. Jackson, Damien, and Ordonez. The first pitch at the knees, but a touch low from Breslow. Austin 1 for 3, had a single in his last at bat. That's outside. 2-0 the count. Breslow is out of New Haven, Connecticut. Drilled to center field. Hit well. Davis going back over his head. Extra bases for Jackson. He's in with a leadoff double. It's a good start.
Jackson's numbers weren't all that favorable against left-handed pitching coming into the game today, but he's got his second base hit today against a left-hander. That ball absolutely drilled over the head of Davis in center field. It was a 2-0 fastball by Breslow, and Jackson wasn't having any of that.
Here's Johnny Damon, who has put up 2 hits in this ball game tonight, single and a double. Tigers now had 5 hits for the game. Breslow, a former Minnesota Twin, also played with the Red Sox and the Padres. Popped him up. Shallow left. Easy play for Gross.
4 of the Tigers' 5 hits have come from their table setters in Jackson and Damon.
Haven't been able to clean him up though.
No. Cabrera, the other base hit today.
So here comes one of those table cleaners. Maglio Ordonez 0 for 3. Austin Jackson now has 20 multiple hit games. And his fabulous rookie season continues. Single and a double in this one here today. Ordonez trying to keep it going here. Fouled away. 1-1. Maglio with 32 driven in. Two and one. Breslow's big league career began with San Diego in 2005. Big rip there by Mags. 2-2.
Speaking of big rips, this one on October 19th, 2006, sent the Tigers to the World Series.
Now the 2-2 pitch. On the ground slowly, left side of the infield. Kuzminoff will get Ordonez, and the runner holds. Mags 0 for 4 tonight.
Kuzminoff can play some third base. Only 3 errors for Kuzminoff last year playing for the San Diego Padres, which is now a National League record. He played in 141 games and only booted 3.
So it's going to be up to Cabrera. Last chance tonight for the Tigers. Otherwise, they dropped the first 2 games in this set.
4-game losing streak, too.
It would also be 5 of 6 in the loss column after the Tigers swept a pair from Oakland to start that last road trip.
Minnesota's won 3 straight, and now the Tigers in jeopardy of losing their 4th straight.
Two and one on Cabrera. Miguel had a single to lead off the 7th inning. Later erased on a double play, his only hit tonight. The 2-1. Ryan Rayburn would be next if Cabrera can keep it going here. Tigers need a bunch of base runners. Jackson led off with a double, still standing at second base with 2 outs. The 2-2. Breslow wants a new baseball. Athletics got a chance to jump into first place in the West. Texas a loser today, so the A's would move into first place. They were a half game out. Tigers would drop to 3.5 behind Minnesota. Here's the 2-2.
Breslow flirting with danger. Better put a wrinkle in something. That fastball he's featuring. Awfully tough to throw by Cabrera. At 90 miles an hour.
Bob Guerin's team has walked into Comerica, where they have not played very well recently, and have a chance to win the first 2 in this series. Breslow trying to close it down. A's pitching staff throwing a shutout tonight as Jackson leads off second. A strike called. He got him looking. Cabrera disagrees with James Hoy, but that is that.
And Breslow finally pulled the string on Cabby and got the call.
So they get a leadoff double with Strand to man. Final score tonight. The Athletics win it 6-0.